Hello and welcome to Freud's Bits. As always, nothing goes ever so buttery smooth. We are still here. We are here trying to sort out this and that. As you can see, we try to improve our setup a little bit. Yeah, and apologies again, but this time we're only 30 minutes late instead of an hour. I've got with us the regulars. We can back to uniform go right. Let's start ngabantu abangamenywana. You got Tabang, what's up? Where have you been? What's up? What have you been doing? Have you learned how to use light yet?
I'm actually still learning how to use light. I practiced on my cousin. It was metric dance. So I think I did a good job with that. I still have to edit that. But yeah, I'm still on weddings and stuff. That's pretty much what I'm on.
Alright, no, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Sound guy over there, can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly over and out.
Alright, so what have you been doing? What are you up to?
Mav Inc. Lately I've been quite busy. I've been shooting a lot of beauty work. Something that I don't usually do, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. I usually do a lot of fashion and portraiture, but yeah, lately I'm doing quite a lot of beauty work, and yeah, it's coming along well.
Okay, alright, no, that's good stuff. And are you making money yet?
Hey.
Alright, Mr. Editor, the one who ran a Photoshop workshop that blew our minds off.
And the people are still suffering from that trauma, eh?
Hey, daughter, yeah. Smoother.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me again on this show. I've been actually I was busy preparing for that workshop, so I didn't get time to do anything else.
Okay.
So the only thing that I did was just preparing for this amazing workshop that went very well, and people were so happy about it, and I'm happy too. My next step is that now I need to get ready for. I've got 2 weddings that are coming up. I need to make sure I'm ready, and I need to kill them. So yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, before we start off, we want to start off. We encourage you guys to submit questions for every episode. We submit episodes to ask. Questions to ask on each and every single episode. We have a question from Jason. And I couldn't answer this specifically. I have a friend who works with finances. So we thought maybe I should just ask him to help us answer that. And on the line, I hope he can hear us. I know he can't see us. KG, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Nico.
All right, cool. Thanks. That worked flawlessly. All right, KG, I've got the guys here, and I've got a question from a friend of mine, a friend of the family, Jason. He was asking us, why is everything photography related so exponentially expensive when it comes to African countries? You know, as we were talking, I was giving you the example that when you buy things, go States and go China. You pay something like 10,000 rands in China, or in the States, but when it comes to South Africa, it's even more than what the dollar exchange rate is. Did we just lose him? Okay, let's try him again. Sorry. Don't forget to switch on to his.
Sorry, Nico.
Yeah. So are you good?
I'm okay.
All right. Okay. Now we can see you. All right. Yeah. The question was Jason Vollenhoven was asking, why is everything exponentially expensive when you buy it in South Africa? We would buy something go States for 10,000 rands, and then when it comes to South Africa, it's double, if not more than double, instead of the dollar exchange rate. Would you be able to help us answer that question?
Look, remember, if South African rand versus American dollars, it's quite weak. So you probably pay 15 times what we would pay here in South Africa in terms of the foreign currency.
Yeah.
Over and beyond. Remember, in South Africa we pay that.
Okay.
At 15%. Yeah. In terms of foreign imports, you're gonna pay something like additional 15% on what you call import duties.
All right.
Not with that, you also need to take into account the shipping cost that is involved. If for example, a supplier in South Africa has to go buy things in abroad, they will levy the import duty as well as VAT. So it's more like 15% times 2, as well as the shipping costs from
So,
abroad to here.
I mean, what's how do we succeed? I mean, how would we be able to get something like this cheaper? I mean, what's the alternatives of getting stuff cheaper? Like, would have to send somebody to go get it for us. But what are the pricing when it comes to airport duties? So, for instance, if I want to buy a camera that's worth 10,000 rands and I ask somebody to bring it for me, because obviously they have to pay taxes when they come to the airport, the customs.
Yes.
How much more expensive would that be cheaper to do that than to go to a shop and buy something like that?
It would be cheaper if, let's say, for example, as a resident of the United States, if they were to bring something here, they're going to have to pay VAT. But if they were to leave with that thing, they'll have to claim that VAT back.
Yeah.
But if you go on your own, you are avoiding the additional 15% that you pay, because if you go by, you're going to pay 15% VAT
Okay.
and as well as import duties of 15% again. So like you pay 30% extra.
All right. But it would be significantly cheaper than to go to Sentin and buy the same thing here in South Africa, as opposed to.
It would be better if you go direct, if you go yourself to go buy.
All right. Okay. No, all right. Thank you. That's the only question, and I really appreciate your time. I know you waited for us. Appreciate that. Hopefully, we get more financial questions, because as camera people, we spend a lot of money. So yeah, hey, guys, do you have any questions for KG?
I think you can manufacture yourselves.
Anybody got questions for KG?
I'm good.
No, all right.
On my side,
No, okay. But thank you. We really appreciate you coming on to the show and helping us with that question. Jason, I hope you got your answer. And thanks, bro. And we'll talk afterwards, eh?
Okay, thanks.
All right, cheers. All right, I think that part is done. Yeah, thanks to KG. Kagiso Noke is a friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. One of my groomsmen in my wedding, and yeah, we're still good friends even today. We brothers more than that, actually. Okay, where do we go from here? We answered that one question, and we're gonna do tips. And again, our laptops don't work onto OBS. So can we try to describe our tips again over the microphone?
It's gonna
Okay,
be.
so all your tips are just demos.
Yes.
Okay, so we have to skip all of you and just come to me who's prepared for both things. All right, my quick bit for today is quite simple. Everybody knows here that I believe in shortcuts. Everything that I do is in shortcuts. I use the keyboard and mouse in conjunction, if not the keyboard and tablet. The thing is, learning the shortcuts, you have to know which shortcuts is which. And there's a very simple tip for that. If you're using Mac, I believe it will be Control, Command, and then /. That will pop up a list of shortcuts, or depending on which module you are. So if you're in the library module, if you press that command and /, it will show you the shortcuts for the library module, which are different to develop. If you go to develop module and you press command plus /, I believe on PC would be control and /. It's the one on top of the question, underneath the question mark. It will show you all the shortcuts. Therefore, getting your workflow to work faster. So, I mean, I always say, guys, learn one shortcut at least a day or a week, and then start using it more. And then, then it makes your workflow faster. Guys, what do you think?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, all my tips are always new. All my tips are always new.
Learn something tonight at least.
All right. Okay, while we're here, Tabang has something to announce. I think we should just get that out of the way, and then before we get into the topic of today.
Oh, okay. Is it now? Well, photography and its bits. Looking to give back to the audiences, people who listen to, and we're trying to at least gain more audiences. So what we're trying to do is we want to run a competition whereby a model, or maybe an aspiring model, can win, and then one of us will shoot.
One of us or you? I'm just asking.
Preferably Marv will shoot. I'm sure everyone wants to shoot with Marv these days. So, ladies or models, it doesn't matter if you are skinny or oversized. Or not oversized, but plus size. I think that's pretty much what it's called. You can enter the competition. We'll lay down the rules on the page. So what you guys need to do is just go onto the page, maybe at the end of the show, and then we'll lay down the rules of how to enter the competition. But like the page is definitely one of the rules. So be on the lookout if you want to shoot with Marv.
Really put we are boom and All right, guys. All right, let's moving on to our main topic of this episode. It's quite simple, and this is more a random one than it is a one topic. So we'll be touching on quite a few different, or maybe all of them. There's always myth. How do you say that? Myth, photography myths. That yeah.
There's a message.
Yeah.
Taban, please speak louder. So I'm kind of assuming, or maybe all of you all may need to speak a bit louder. Just
but I can.
Maybe just increase
Maybe
this volume.
move the mic closer, Tana.
Before, we need to check both sides.
Yeah, move
Let
the
her-
mic.
Hopefully this is
Let her
fine.
turn up her volume. Maybe that's the problem.
Shout out. Yeah. All right.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marv is the only person who can tell
Yeah,
us.
I can
All right.
hear you.
Okay.
Oh,
Good.
yeah, you got your name right. Okay, alright. Before we go, shout out to Kashif Mahmoud. He's watching along with.
That's a guy from Poland, isn't it?
No. That's machine.
Oh, okay.
Alongside with Kenlin Dinepe.
Mr. Dinepe is becoming a regular in the family.
He should join us one day.
Yeah, no, he should
And
definitely.
we also have Zian Dalundi West Turma.
Steer,
Steer.
was nice
Steer,
seeing, yeah, was
man.
nice seeing you on Sunday after
Yeah,
quite a
yeah.
long time. Yeah. Where were we going, Jay? Oh, we're talking about myths.
myths.
Yeah, myths. MYTHS. One myth, like the misconceptions that we have on photography. So this is gonna be random. Everybody's just gonna pick a myth, and then we're just gonna go discuss each one of them, and then take it from there, move on. We're gonna start on the right hand side with the guy who's ignoring us, putting on.
He's preparing for the
Myth
competition.
number one. What is it, and how true or untrue is it?
You know, I think for me, one that I'm getting quite a lot lately from a lot of people I'm interacting with is that you need a really expensive camera to take a good photograph.
Yes, you do. You need one.
No. I beg to differ. A lot of people are coming to me and saying, hey, I think my camera is a bit old. I need to upgrade so that I can also be on that level and so forth and so forth. And I keep telling them, I don't think you really need to upgrade your camera just yet.
How's that? Why is that? I mean, are you telling me that I can go buy a 120, 1200D and still be as bad as I am now?
Yeah, you could. You could very well. Well. I think a great photograph comprises of a good composition, good exposure, and obviously your surroundings or the model or whatever you're shooting also.
Okay.
You know, so just paying attention to detail in your shot and also using good, I think Spuda, when he did his workshop, touched on it, that good practices on Photoshop as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a little goes a long way. With that combination, I think you can shoot great photographs. For example, the work I shoot, a lot of people always say, yeah, but you have expensive camera. My camera is under 10,000 rands. I'm using a 12-year-old 5D Mark II
That you bought second hand.
that I bought second hand.
But okay, what
You
is
know, and before that, I was using my 550D, which I still use. sometimes, and I'm still able to go out and shoot. For me, I always say, if you just put good glass in front of your camera and you follow the other basics, you should be able to get a good photograph. I think even last time when I was with Amy, we were laughing that some of his first work that got him a lot of recognition was shot with a 1200D, which was his first camera, and a 50 f1.8 lens, and that was his combination for quite a long time, and he went quite a long way with that. So a lot of people, I think, we get caught up in the gear, and I don't have a strobe, I don't have this, my camera is this, and so I think that's one of the myths for me that lately I've been getting in my inbox.
Yeah, but surely there is. I mean, you can't say necessarily that a 1200D compared to a 5D Mark IV. There is. You do sacrifice some things.
You do sacrifice some things.
What is it? I mean, obviously, yes. I agree with you when you say it's just a camera. It can be a 5,000 rand camera or a 20,000 rand camera. They both still shoot the same pictures. I mean, all it's all relative, but then there must be something that's different between the 5,000 rand camera to the 40,000 rand camera, say.
True. Obviously,
Guys,
the 5D Mark IV will probably have better dynamic range.
Okay.
Will probably have better detail, but with the 1200D, if you shoot carefully, I promise you, if I use the 5D Mark IV and I don't expose properly, I don't look at my surroundings, I don't light properly, you can only imagine what I'm gonna produce with that camera, and I always, for me, good glass goes a long way. Having a great camera, the camera only assists you, it can't really give you those images, it only assists you with getting better dynamic range, getting better details. But still, if I get an image that's got all this detail and all this, and I go to Photoshop and I just kill the texture and I kill the colors, then it defeats the purpose.
All right. Yeah, Ubongs agrees with you. Apparently, it says, say that again louder for those that are sitting at the back. It's not all about new camera. We still marvel at photos that are taken 20 years ago.
True.
Yeah. But that being said, there is obviously you do lose a few things on features, but in terms of photo, you don't lose anything if you do everything right. I mean, for instance, you have lower resolution back screen, you could have lesser buttons, but the photo that comes out of there, you still have to put in the same amount of work that as if you are shooting a Sony AR7 IV or a 1200D. All right, okay, moving on. You guys want to add something, or we passed on that one?
The meats. I think
nailed it.
Okay. There's one myth that I've been hearing a lot that cloudy and rainy days are not good days for photography.
I remember that it was raining and I was home for Nulungi. It was raining at I'm coming there to shoot that I was almost a camera.
Yes. And I think it was last year, after the rain, trust me, after the rain, the colors change. I don't know. There's that the vibrance is just amazing, especially when it's the golden hour after the rain. So the cloudy and rainy days are very, very good, especially if you want to take those not the images without harsh highlights and shadows. So cloudy and rainy days are very, very marvelous for your photographs. And moving along.
Oh no, we're doing one by one. Keep working. Yeah, you go.
Are you done with him?
No. We were still on this cloud and rain.
Oh, okay. No, I was just supporting him in Djibouti. whether it's cloudy, it's even much better to shoot when it's cloudy for us natural light shooters. Anyways, I prefer it very cloudy because you can be more creative.
Yeah.
In terms of that. So I support him with that.
All right, and for some reason it gives you when shooting in the rain, it gives you that rich. The photo becomes somehow rich.
Yes.
It's much
that
rich.
vibrance, that natural
either
vibrance.
rich in terms of I don't know if you contrasty or whatever. And you know, if I could, especially if I had a 5D Mark IV waterproof camera, I definitely would shoot quite a lot when it drizzles a little bit and it's a bit wet. Just hang on, again gremlins. Let's just move this camera back and use one camera. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Ben. As per normal.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Tabang, I think, we've done 1, 2. You on the third one?
Okay, since I'm more of a natural light guy, the myth behind that is that people who shoot natural light are OCF clueless. Well, not most of them. Well, I'm one of them who are clueless in terms of that. But I understand most do understand OCF, and through working with natural light, you get to learn how to manipulate light from starters. So by the time you move on into strobes and flash, it just makes life easier for you. So OCF guys, natural light guys are not OCF clueless. So let's just bust that myth in general.
Okay.
That's true.
I think no, it's true. I mean, it's just about lighting, knowing where to place your subject and how to bring in your light. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean you don't know how to use flash. Some people just prefer natural light. My opinion.
I mean, it's less work. It's less weight on your back.
I don't know about work. I think weight I can agree, but I don't know about work.
It's more work in post.
It is less work. I mean, carrying that heavy bag with 8600s, and especially if you don't have assistants, so you'll have to carry all those bags all by yourself. So I think it's less work.
Okay, our Ben has something to announce.
Yeah,
It's saying if people want to Skype in, how do they Skype in again?
All right, okay. If you want to Skype in, we'll give you the Skype ID towards the end. I think it will be too soon now. I think we'll get too many Skype calls if we gave everything now. But Bongs, do hang out there. We want to pass a personal shout out to you since you never miss an episode. Kenlin, you're local, so we expect you to be here soon. But Bongs is further away. But yeah, we'll give you the Skype ID towards the end, and it's not the one that I'm using. So don't look for Nico, because that's not the one that's gonna come in. All right, I'm gonna have to switch around here my myths because everybody's talking about shooting.
Why are you switching up? Can I just we have Uzi and here she's saying, can you guys explain the importance of the f-stop when buying the lens? Hope I'm making sense. Oh, that's right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that one's nice. Stop when buying a lens. Hope I'm making sense.
Can we save that one for later?
Okay.
Let's just do at least one each. 2 more myths each, and then we'll come back to that one.
Okay.
All right. Okay. My myth is. Okay, still on the shooting part.
Okay.
I'll go to my number 3 on the list, which means shallow depth of field makes an image nicer.
It does.
It does.
It does. It does.
Not necessarily.
Not all the time.
It does, yes, but not necessarily. I think in my opinion, if we look, unfortunately I can't show you, at Musa's work, Abe Life, look at that guy's metadata. You see everything from FA to F16, and and if you look at the images, they're just beautiful, so shooting at f2.8 or f1.4 doesn't make your picture nicer. It just means you're isolating the subject from the background and blurring out the background. And I've always been a comrade for seeing beyond the subject. You must, I always like to take the environment in. I always like to shoot, to show, to give you tell the story between subject and the place and the environment that they're in. So I always say see beyond the subject, and most of those are shallow depth of fields, and they are beautiful images, and I'm not taking anything away, anything away, but we all have this thing with everything has to be 2.8 f 1.4 or whatever the next one. Not all the time.
True.
I always believe in seeing beyond the subject.
I think it also depends on what is your storyboard on that day. If you're shooting, high fashion, and you need to maybe to expose the background, then that's where the f-stop comes in, f9, f12, f16. But there are times where when you're in a location with a busy background, you really need to make your background have that shallow depth of field, so that you just compose your shot nicely. I don't know if I'm making sense. You remember that making sense of I think it depends on your storyboard for that day.
All right. Yeah, I suppose so. But let's not make the mistake that everything has to be 2.8 f 1.4. Let's give f 5.6 and f 8 and f 11 a chance.
You just go out there with your 18 by 55 f 4.5.
All right. Okay. Let's do one more round and then we go back to answering questions. Marv?
Well, you just took my next one, but it's okay.
That's why you take prepared because I always attached that because now you also took mine.
Yeah, well, mine was a twist, but it's fine.
Let's hear it.
The one I wanted to use after this was that there's this myth that your lens is only its sharpest halfway through the aperture range. Usually f8 is the golden number.
But is that not true? I've always said that lens is sharpest at f8.
No.
Okay.
Now they make lenses that are quite sharp, wide open.
Okay, but Tyler?
Was
it relevant in my days in 1875?
Well, 1875. Yeah, but I don't know. I've seen quite a few lenses that are very sharp at f4, f3.2.
Yeah.
Now the art lenses. Last time I tried, I think it was an 85 art from Tamron. It was sharp, wide open. I couldn't believe it. So I think times have moved from that era where lens had to be stepped down quite a bit for them to be quite sharp. Now lenses are quite sharp, wide open, if not near wide open. And then
especially all the mirrorless lenses
are
sharpest anyway.
Look at it.
Anyway.
You zoom into that photo and it's tech sharp and it's shot wide open. I don't think it's still that f8 rule still applies in today's lenses.
Okay, no, it's true. I think everybody just needs to learn what gear they have and see how it performs from 0 to 100. I suppose. True. Yeah. Is that a tip, or you want to still add another one?
So that was just a tip. So one also myth that's there is that a lot of people have this thing that shoot raw cause let me phrase it this way. A lot of people say you cannot adjust the white balance of a JPEG. And for me, I don't think that's entirely true. You can somewhat, limited though, adjust the white balance of a JPEG. It's just that it doesn't give you the freebie to change it as you like.
I just say don't teach other kids.
But with the JPEG,
I just want to get this clear.
Don't teach other kids bad habits.
The mileage with the JPEG is there. You can change the white balance of a JPEG, but it's just that it's limited. So rather not shoot JPEG and shoot RAW so that you do get that free pass to go change it as you will. But a lot of people have this thing, you cannot change the white balance of a JPEG, and I believe you can. It's just that it's very limited. Just like pulling details and dynamic range from a JPEG is very limited, but you can do it, you know. You can.
Yeah, I mean, if you
I
can get
give
your
you
shot right
exactly.
from the start, there's no need for you to be, I shot JPEG, so I don't know what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But,
I like wedding reception. It's when I'm doing my own job. I always shoot RAW plus JPEG. When it comes to reception photos, most of them you don't need to work hard on it. Like if your JPEG, I mean, if your camera settings are correct, I just send the JPEGs.
Because I mean, sometimes you get those cameras with 2 slots. Maybe you set one card shoot RAW, then the other JPEG. Tell me if it happens that you lose the information on the first card, which is RAW card. What are you gonna do? Still, you're gonna need to work with JPEG. So I mean,
See, that's why I shoot RAW on both cards. I don't take no chances when it comes to that, bro.
Okay, here's a tip. Adding on to what Willa just said now, Nikon, Canon, I believe every camera manufacturer makes their own native software. If you shoot RAW on your camera, if you take it, let's say you're shooting Nikon, okay, I don't know, what is Nikon's, Nikon View? I think it's Nikon View or Nikon Professional. If you shoot RAW and you take your image, okay, let's say Canon's digital, what I use, photo professional, EOS,
DPP.
DPP. You take your RAW image and put it in the software. It will show you exactly what you shot, the settings and everything. You can export a JPEG from the software. So there's no need to shoot RAW plus JPEG. You can shoot RAW on both cards, and then if you want to get the JPEG out of it, just put it through that Canon software, and then you will spit out the exact same JPEG that you saw at the back of the camera. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's native with all the camera manufacturers. With Nikon, I know that because I used to shoot Nikon, and I've done. I shot Canon, and I've done that with Canon. Just, you know what, and I don't want to edit these photos. They're just perfect as they are. I just want to get the JPEG. I run it through the software and export. So the only disadvantage about those softwares is that they are slow. They are laggy. They are buggy. They're not nice looking. The interface is not. The GUI is not nice. So that's why we all don't edit using our native camera software, because
what is GUI?
Graphic user interface.
Okay.
Coming back to your point, Ubongs was saying that use a higher f-stop or increase your distance from the subject. It's all about focal plane. I think that was adding to your lenses.
Bongs was talking to me about this question.
To which lay? Oh, okay. How's it? Lebogang. How do you get a group of 30 to 40 people? Oh, okay, so she was also. No, okay. Well, yeah. I think Ubongs actually just answered that perfectly. But we'll come back to questions now after this next round of myths. This will be Sila or Singap.
I can go.
You don't want them to steal from me.
Yeah, before someone steals. Photography is a glamorous job.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Look at us.
I got you to play coffee close up. It's a glamorous job.
No, there's nothing glamorous about that.
Okay, why do you say that?
It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. You get to grow some gray hair very early.
On loose hair.
So don't look at photographers and thinking, oh, these guys are having such a wonderful job. They go to all the weddings and all that other stuff. It is hard work, especially on post. Having to work late hours and picking all the pictures that you need to pick and making sure everything else is perfect. Making sure everything else is perfect. Yeah, and the clients, we fight a lot with the clients if the pictures are not right. So photography is not a glamorous job. So you guys can try plumbing or something else, or just be a handyman.
Yeah. All right. Okay, that's a good one. That's cool. It's my turn now, ne? Where can I go? Still talking about shooting. More shots means more keepers. I think that's a myth. I mean, it's basically adding on to what Tabang is saying. It's the more you shoot, the more you're killing yourself. You need to you need to learn how to take your shots. You need to focus. You need to realize what shot you want to take. You know, by going there into a wedding, coming back with 5,000 photos. You know, that's you basically tripling your time of working. You know, the amount of time you'll take to cull those images. So think about the shots that you want to take, and shoot the right shots. You know, rather take one extra shot than 10 unnecessary extra shots. You know, so more shots doesn't mean more keepers. It just means that you're not really thinking through your shots.
But when it comes to shooting that, you may kiss the bride part.
You may kiss the bride, or I need to
Yes, at least you need 10 to 20 of those.
Yeah, you need to kill them.
Is that time to the question Ali is asking it again? I think he wants.
All right, okay. Mark, can you see the question?
I have a 6D Mark II and the 85mm prime lens. Which lens should I buy next? Well,
Okay, depends.
it depends.
2470.
Now it depends on what you shoot. I primarily shoot very tight, so I'm a 85 and over person. So my from an 85, my next lens that I wanted was a 135, all because I shoot very tight. So if you are a person who shoots wide like Unico, from a 50 you might go to a 35. So it really depends on the type of photography you're in, and the type of photographer you are in. The nice thing is that currently there is nice zoom lenses. Zoom lenses used to be a bit not nice because they used to be sharp at certain zoom ranges and soft at a certain zoom ranges, but now we do have 70 to 200 that are sharp all through. 24 to 105 is also another lens that's sharp right through. 24 to 70 is also another zoom that's sharp, especially the Mark III is sharp right through. So it's a very hard question to answer. It all depends on what you shoot. You know, lately my favorite lens is 100mm. I'm shooting nearly 99% of everything on 100mm right now, but I wouldn't say to him go get 100mm. It all depends on what he shoots,
And also the budget.
and also the budget. Also, you know, there is also budget friendly lenses out there that are quite nice. The 24-2, exactly, the 24 105 being one of the nicest L lenses, and they are quite affordable at the moment. You're getting them for like 7.5, 8K on the used market.
I mean, just adding on to that, I would say if you're shooting portraits, basically outdoor portraits, the one other cheaper lens you can buy is a 50.
True.
Right.
True.
But if you're gonna be shooting events, then with an 85, you know, you're gonna struggle. This solves everything. 24 to 105. It's an f4 lens, but most beautiful lens ever. It covers your range from 24 to 105 millimeters.
True.
And then you can still have your your 85 for, you know, your nice portraits. 85 is still the best portrait lens that I know. Like I said, like Mav said, and everybody says, it depends on what you shoot mostly. If you shoot portraits, get a 50. If you're going to be shooting events as well, get a lens that covers a bigger range. 2470, it's a nice lens, but the price is a bit
quite
high.
expensive.
24 105 is an all general purpose lens that does wonders, especially in studio as well.
True.
Anybody want to edit something?
No, I'm not questioning that.
What do you mean when you say shoot tight?
Shoot tight.
Charlie models, leave me alone. that means I crop very tightly to the subject. So I shoot very close to the subject, and I don't really leave a lot of background. So I shoot portraits, so I concentrate on the person more than really the other things. So
Meaning you're against Nico because Nico
shoots very wide.
Like I said,
Nico shoots very wide.
See beyond the subject. So I should be on the subject.
You know, I mean, it's mostly the person and very little background. And most of the time no feet. So that I wanted the shoes to show it's a bit of a problem.
becomes a problem.
It becomes a bit of a problem.
Yeah. Where are we? So what's good?
We're still in the meats. Ne?
Is it good?
On the meats. The meats.
Oh yeah, the men's. Whose turn is it?
It's me. It's
Okay,
mine, it's mine.
all right.
Yeah. Just before we went live. Oh come on. watch the roots outside. Before we went live, the beautiful sister of mine, Moira, said photographers wear the very same outfit every now and then. That's a myth, good people. We do have clothes. We do have clothes.
Hey. Have you ever seen me with the same uniform every time? No, I've got 5 different uniforms. They all have.
They said I'm always on this jacket. Giving it to somebody else now. Nah, that's a myth. That's a myth. That's not true. You always change.
No, it is true, man. We rely on freebies, so hey, throw some this way.
Okay. All right. It's me. Ne?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
If we build it, he will come. You know that saying. Ne?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, most people say it and they say, "If we build it, they will come." It's actually, "If we build it, he will come." This is directed to. This is more marketing and business wise. Doesn't mean just because you shoot, clients will come to you. You know, there's a lot of work that you need to do.
True.
You know. You need to get your portfolio right. You need to get your marketing game right. There are lots of people who can help you when it comes to business. Most photographers don't invest in business. We don't invest in putting a 120 rand ad on Facebook just to put ourselves out there. So it doesn't mean just because you have a studio and you're shooting photos and you're posting on your profile, they will come. No. You need to put work there. So it's a myth that I have a camera, I will get clients. No. Put work behind it.
Can I add on that?
Yeah.
Not all of us are business people, so you can be good at photography, but now if you are not good at marketing yourself, it is much easier to hire somebody
Exactly.
to do that for you, and
And
that's how you will make money. And the more money you make, then you will pay that person, and you'll get more money yourself. So
Including
creating jobs. That's what you need to do as well.
including what you do, graphic designing, logos, and
pretty,
websites.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do your logos, please. Oh, your watermarks, people.
Yeah. Tabang is there for that. Crispy Juice Box, if you
Yeah.
didn't know, is a graphic designer and does web beautiful stuff that you have. Yeah, so it doesn't mean just because you're a creative person you can do everything in the creative industry.
No. It has to
specialist.
be a team effort. There are people behind the scene that you will see one person all the time posting, but there's quite a lot of people behind it who are helping make everything else look beautiful.
Thank you, Siyabonga.
That's true.
Thank you, Siyabonga. Okay.
Okay.
Utama was still going. Was just
Okay,
saying
okay.
to mine.
No, I was done.
Oh, you're okay.
I'm done. Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's answer some questions. What questions do we have on the networks?
I think one that came,
Mhm.
Ulebogang Musebi said, how do you get a group of 30 to 40 people to be all in focus?
Yeah. And I
Nico, you should wide.
I should write, yeah, but I think Bongs has answered that for us. How's it, Amy? I saw you somewhere there and it disappeared. If you can Skype in, Amy, maybe you can answer a few questions. Send me a WhatsApp if you want the Skype handle.
He's actually asking you a question. Nick, where is your cloth?
My cloth?
Yes.
What cloth?
You ask him.
I can't see. Let me see the comment.
He's asking you where's your cloth.
That's actually
What cloth?
Then he came back and said, what if you can't afford to hire someone to, like you, starting up?
Starting up.
That-
If you always need to. I always believe that you need to put back into your business. You don't. Speaking of which, on polls, last time I was asking, how do you make money in your photography, or do you just eat hand to mouth? You can't always eat hand to mouth. You always need to. If you're making 10 rands, you always need to take at least 2 rands or 3 rands, put it back in your business. That by either buying equipment or paying rent or buying new stuff or enhance your business for Facebook ads, getting a logo done, proper logo done, getting you always need to put something back. You can't just always, every time you get 200 rands from a shoot, go buy bread and that's it. You know. Yeah. Okay. What other questions do we have? Amy, please re-ask that question. I'm not
About the
I'm
cloth.
not- about the cloth that I don't know.
The Superman cloth, man. Superman cloth. Or is it a cape? Oh, okay. Maybe he meant a cape or something.
What other questions did we see there? I'm sure there were quite a number of questions. My
Yeah.
Facebook is not showing me proper stuff.
The only other comment that was in was from
Oh yeah, we were answering the 30-40 group shot, ne? Yeah, I was
True.
saying, Bongs has already answered that.
He said use a higher stop or increase your distance from the subject. It's all
Yeah.
about the focal plane. Yeah.
Yes, focal plane, make sure they're straight, they're in a straight line. We are typical in Amanyama, group shot, we see Maganj. Just make sure that everybody is straight. Begani Tonda is a bit long. No, just make sure everybody in the same line, focal plane, and step back a little bit. Give your more room, even more room on the sides because your lens is a bit less sharp on the outer
On
edges.
the edges, yeah.
Yeah, and just increase your f-stop depending on.
The t-shirt, yeah. Why are you
Oh.
wearing a shirt? Why
Oh.
are you? Where's the yellow one? The ones we don't have, eh?
Today
Where's
I'm
the yellow one? The one we don't
Okay,
have.
the cloth is today. I'm selling Wabasu Studios. I just wanted to prove that Mythicus we don't always wear the same thing. Yeah. Anyway, going back to the question, yeah, just step back a little bit, give even more room on the sides because the lenses are a bit softer on the sides, and increase your f-stop. Start from f5.6 going up to f11, dependent on how big the group is. Okay, I answered that question. What other questions did we have?
They said,
Can I ask in terms of that, if you're shooting maybe OCF and you're shooting a group of people like 30, what kind of soft box do you need to shoot that many people?
First of all, I would not recommend you do 30. Just break down the groups. I mean, there's always a way of breaking it down. And Marv, you can answer that in terms of lighting modifiers, shooting a big group.
no. Because before you jump into Mav, what if the client needs that 30 to 40?
That 30, yeah. Some of them
Because
do.
sometimes you are bound to take that shot.
This will be the short step ladder. We have a short step ladder that I used to keep in the car for big weddings. Just climb up higher. Make sure you have 2 rows of people and then shoot down at them.
So still no light.
No, I always use light. Marv, on the light side.
Yeah.
Well, it depends where you're shooting. So if you're shooting indoors, my go-to is a umbrella, just because of how it spreads the light. So I will put one umbrella to the left, one umbrella to the right, and I will fire it at the people. Obviously, step ladder and try and get the people to be aligned in such a way that it's a tight group. And you can see all the faces, because if you can't see the faces, then it defeats the
pointless,
purpose,
yeah.
So for me, my go-to is either a silver reflective umbrella, or I go for shoot-through umbrellas in such situations. I haven't had much luck with my Optas when it's a big group, just because of how the light spill is. And also with a bare strobe, I've tried a bare strobe, you find you have hot spots. And then that gives you more Photoshop work, which is not my favorite place to be. So I go for, my go-to is the umbrellas, 2 umbrellas on each side, camera left, camera right, facing the crowd.
Hey, Brian,
Okay, cool.
that's a very good question you just asked there. Please, guys, don't laugh at this. When I started out photography, I shot a group of 12 people, and I had my assistant holding that reflector. I thought maybe I could just make some matches. Hey, my friend. So,
Things we do as beginners.
Okay, Uchai is asking, is a 17 to 50 millimeter a good lens?
Depends on
17 to 50.
50.
I'm not quite
I
familiar
had
with
a
that lens.
Sigma one, I think the old Sigmas. I hated it. It was so very soft.
Yeah.
So I don't know. After that one, I just didn't want one. I had a 17 to 50 f2.8 Sigma. And I didn't like it. But
Well,
that was the older ones. I think it was one of the first ones that came out.
Yeah.
I didn't like that Sigma. It was soft, and I don't even know what happened to it.
All right. Yeah. Well, there's your answer. On my side, I don't have the experience with that lens, so I cannot comment, unfortunately.
If people aren't talking much about it, well, it's not a good lens.
Okay. Let's go back to myths. Is there other questions that I need to know about?
Questions or myths?
Who's watching the room? Is somebody monitoring the audio?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
All right. No questions. No questions.
Okay, I
Amy.
think Bongs just answered to Patrick.
Okay.
He just said that's another brilliant lens. If you are referring to the f2.81, I have the Sigma version. I think it's the very
It's probably
same
the
one.
new one.
Oh yeah, I think this.
Because now there is the new one. The ones I have is the first generation, the one that I was talking about. It's the first generations ones with those flimsy rubbers
Oh,
and the
yeah,
flats.
yeah.
No, that one for me was quite soft. But yeah,
Even
but
when
I
you-
don't. That's what I'm
even
saying.
if-
I don't know about the new versions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so if there are no questions, we'll answer the next round of questions soon. And okay, we're almost reaching an hour now, so we need to speed it up if we might, please.
You know what I mean?
So we are still.
So it's
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
I'll give you something. Pros are better than amateurs. Is that a myth? Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to add to that just to make it a wider subject. Photographers that charge cheaper are killing the industry. That's another one of the myths. So let's go on that one. Since it's ours, you guys discuss.
So we need to discuss that.
The pros are on that side.
I would say if you say the pros are better than I think I wouldn't necessarily say better, but I would say more equipped than amateurs. So if I walk into a garden and I need to shoot that lady standing there, probably on my third shot I'm ready to shoot.
Yeah.
While the amateur will be trying from auto to aperture priorities, fiddling with this and that. So I think we are better prepared. When you walk into a reception, it might be red ceilings with no light at all, candle light. You already have a go-to plan in your head where you say, oh, okay, speed light, wide open. I'm gonna do this. This is how I'm gonna approach the situation for me to survive the edit, you know. And so you better prepared. While the amateur will shoot, go home, try and figure it in Photoshop, and you might end up with an angle. So I would say not that we are better, but we are better prepared.
So
We are
just
better
take
prepared.
that from pros are better
You
than
know.
amateurs to pros are more equipped
Equipped,
than
yes.
amateurs.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then when it comes to pricing as well, I think with regards to pricing, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Ben?
Is it pros are better equipped? What? There's rich kids just recently
Okay.
bought a car.
But-
All right.
You know, in terms of
Not equipped in terms of
with someone.
gear.
Equipped is like equipped up
Yes.
here.
Equipped as in like knowledge.
Because we were with someone with a 5D Mark IV and still learning photography.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
no,
people
no,
learn
it's-
to learn how
it's-
to drive in a Lamborghini.
Yeah. I say we're better equipped as in knowledge
Yeah.
and situations that you
Yeah.
find
So
yourself
it's not
in.
necessarily better. It's there are some guys who do this quite for a living and who have been doing it quite longer, and you look at their work and it's-
Still
and-
at
and-
pro
and-
level.
and you're not as moved.
I think
you're not as moved as you are with some of the photos that you see from other people. So at the end of the day, your eye, your creativeness comes. Some people I think some people are still stuck in the film era that they're still shooting as if they were shooting film. You have to compensate because you don't have that immediate gratification. So you can't shoot an image and see what is this and that when on film. So you're still shooting with that rule, which what, if I'm shooting ISO 100, the f-stop has to be X amount, and then whatever. And some of their composition is.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think the hit rate as well, like you say, the hit rate. spraying and praying,
Yeah.
shooting 1,000 images and hoping that I have two,
Yeah.
and rather than shooting carefully and saying, I know within these 20 images I've got 5 great keepers, you know. I think also that also plays a role.
Okay. Yeah, and then when coming to mine in terms of pricing, you know, like I always complain that people who charge less are killing the industry. It's not necessarily true if you know what you're doing. If I'm gonna make an example with Ben. Ben is charging, let's say, 100 rands for a studio session, and yeah, I know you don't. I know you don't. Let's say he's charging 100 rands studio session, and you can go there, and the client will come in there. You can provide the client with 50 images after an hour of whatever, and I come in there and I say my studio session is X amount. Let's say 1,000 rands for example, which is not what I'm charging. It's a bit, it's a bit more.
It should be a lot more than that.
You know, and I say to a client, you're only getting 15 images, X and X amount and whatever. You know, depending on your skill level and then what and the quality that you produce, you know, I think clients will automatically fall back if you do your what we've been talking about earlier, your marketing and selling yourself as a business and as a proper professional person. You will get your wealth from the clients. You know, it's just that obviously if you have somebody who is very good but charging very less, that is the person that is killing the industry. But people who are starting off and they're still learning, they're still trying to find their feet, and they're charging less. If you're a professional, you shouldn't really be scared of such people, because if you have your business set properly, you know, from marketing to your workflow, I mean, what your product, what you deliver to the client, I think you should worry less about people who charge less. Yeah.
That's true. With that said as well, there are people who are good who charge very cheap, but what they should do, they shouldn't remain there.
Yes,
they
please
should
don't.
work their way up and
It's a
still
trap.
and
It's a
start charging more. Don't be scared to charge more, because now you're changing your clientele when you charge more. Yes, you'll get less gigs, but you'll be paid more.
Yeah.
So
And it'll be more worth your while, because
Th-
usually
that's the thing.
the person that pays more is the person who knows what they want, and the person that will give you some of the best stuff.
which is true.
Okay.
So don't be stuck on cheap.
Singagopi.
In
Talam,
terms
is
of
it you?
pricing.
Me?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Myth.
I think I'm on my 6th.
Okay. Mom?
My one is don't worry, everything can be fixed in Photoshop.
No.
Let's just shoot here. You know, the photographer will remove the background. Don't remove the papers. You know, these guys are very good. They'll remove it in Photoshop.
It's
Hey,
one
hey,
One big myth.
Especially for me.
Not too much of a myth, though. No. How is it a myth? It's not a myth.
It's a big, you know. It's
You know, you could be able to remove that, but it might take you an hour or two. Well, within that hour, I could have finished editing that shoot. So now I'm going to spend time I would have spent on another shoot or shooting something else, busy editing that photo, while I could have probably removed that thing while we were there.
While it's there,
and then take a picture and saved myself the headache.
Yes. What I would say.
But still, they are right that you can remove it. It's not like they are they are not right. You can remove it. It's just that it'll take you long
It's a
time.
bad habit that you don't want to find yourself.
Yeah, no.
I
I used to do that a lot, and I find myself in trouble while trying to fix that in post.
I think the only time you'll consider that is when you're shooting composites. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Do not shoot just your normal portraits or your normal wedding stuff, thinking you will change the background. You remove whatsoever on the background when you're doing post processing. You're gonna find yourself in the toughest time. I don't know.
Yeah,
please do
if you
not
can
go
work
there.
5 steps to remove a piece of paper, do that. You don't want to
Yes.
spend
Yes.
2 minutes opening Photoshop just to remove that one piece of paper.
You know.
If you can move your subject 2 steps to the right just to avoid it as being on the left, that saves you 3, 4, 5 minutes of cloning in Photoshop.
Yeah. I think you just need to do that. Only if you have to just remove that thing, not just because you said, let me take this image, I'll remove that. If you can remove it while shooting, then go remove it. Then on post, you just have your quickest. I mean, you just fast.
Yeah.
Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are we? Do we still?
But still, as photographers, you need to learn the skill of how to remove stuff. Because now, if it happens that you forgot how to, you
Don't teach other kids bad habits. Teach other kids.
it's not
90%
bad.
in camera, 10% in post. Is my
No,
rule.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying you have to master the skill though for in case you run into such
We'll
a
hire
problem.
Smuda. Smuda is there for hire.
That's taking money off the table, man. That's taking food off your children's food table.
But that's
that
creating
is.
a job. That's creating a job.
Well, if you put it like that,
Or we'll hire you. You seem to like Photoshop.
I love Photoshop.
All right. Okay. You know, I've got a camera. I've got my flash. I've got an SD card. I'm ready to go shoot a wedding. No.
Got a camera? Got a what?
I've got the camera. I've got my SD card. I've got my flash. I'm going to shoot a wedding.
Flash.
Yeah. No.
An SD card.
Yeah.
Just one.
SD card.
Yeah.
Bye.
You know,
Good luck.
Speaking from experience, I dropped a camera. It was a 7200. Was on a D700 and had an SB900 on the edge. That's my strap, my rapid strap. Somehow the mount or the screw was loose on the lens. I didn't see that. The camera went crashing down during a ceremony. The flash went poof, broke. Luckily, the lens and the camera were okay. The whole church stopped and they turned it back. And I said, no, just relax. I've got another one in the car. And I walked to the car, got my other flash, continue shooting. Never go to a big event with just one piece of gear.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
two cameras. You need multiple lenses. You need more than one light.
Yeah.
Mm.
And also SD cards.
Oh yeah, SD card.
Plenty.
There we shouldn't even be debating about that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody.
CF cards, please. CF cards, no SD cards.
We shouldn't be debating about that. You should have, you know, enough memory cards to last you 3 jobs. You know, at least at minimum.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. So
True.
one
Agreed.
camera, one flash, one SD card. Just go hire people. Hiring is not expensive.
True.
You know, you're getting paid for that job. Just do make sure you deliver. If something broke, make sure. You
And
know.
also the wedding, but the devil wears Prada.
Yeah.
You know, that's the day the shutter is gonna decide to.
You wish go. Leave your car there if you're driving.
And weddings are those kind of events you can't refund and say, you know what, sorry, my camera
And
broke.
you
Here's your
can,
money.
I mean, if you've got 200,000 rands, you can say, let's do this again next week. Let's do this again next week. Okay, do you still have more minutes? I have a couple more.
You can prepare, ne?
Oh.
They say great photographers are born artists. Yeah.
I think that skill can be learned.
Yeah, it's a skill.
It's a skill.
It's a
that
skill.
can be learned.
Practice and just
Can it be learned?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it can be learned.
This is like driving a car.
Yes.
Everybody can go to driving school and drive a car, and I can have 10 accidents in a year, and you can have none in 20 years.
Yeah.
A skill, so I can teach somebody the exposure triangle, and it makes sense to them, but they don't have the composition.
Yeah.
They don't really have the passion that you go into an event with. They go there, they just shoot, go there and they deliver. While you do it with that eye, with that passion, and you take that time, and you're gonna obviously so I'm looking at it from that
So
perspective.
passion makes you great. Is that what it is? It's not like you're born with it.
It's
If you have passion for it, you'll be great.
You can always develop an eye and talent for photography through just practice and good attention to detail. Just keep on practicing. Equip yourself with more knowledge. I mean, from the basics. Once you start understanding the basics of photography, that does not mean you were born a great photographer, but you had to go through some learning and you learned the basics. You went on and you just need to keep on practicing also.
You just gave a lot of
But when it comes to soccer it's I mean,
that's talent.
one step makes a different makes a whole difference in a game. So if you take one step, in photography, it's almost everything sequential. The only thing that we're doing is just basically painting with light.
Yeah, and Ben, since ngazalwa mngani wami ibhola angilazi. Ngiyazama ukudlala ngisekhula.
Sefanele.
I think the example was
Yeah.
like Ronaldo is a trained product
Yeah.
versus Messi, which is a natural product. And same as photography, there are those who are just have the eye. Like Nick looks at the area and I'm still struggling to see what
True.
He says, that's my shot. I'm like, dude, you got a shot. I'm still trying to dream of a shot.
You guys just gave a lot of people who shouldn't be photographers hope. Yeah. We're trying to get rid of some,
In everything, passion is what's
True.
All right. Okay, another one. Manual mode is king.
Manual mode is king.
Yeah.
No.
We always shoot on air.
Not all the time.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. I shoot manual. No.
I only shoot
We need to
manual.
make that. Yeah, we really need
Yeah.
to.
Well, that's
No.
It's a good thing to understand manual
yes.
and to know how to shoot manual. But manual is not king.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what P for professional.
Those modes on top of the camera, they are there for a reason.
And aperture
That's it.
priority, one of my favorites.
Yes.
Same
Aperture
here.
priority, one of, if you understand the camera you're shooting with, it's a breathe to shoot at aperture
And,
priority.
and let me tell you something. You can understand manual mode, but still don't understand the others.
Yeah,
I can give you a camera on aperture priority and say, go take some photos. You'll have difficulties with that. But you are saying manual is king, meaning you are a great photographer just because you know manual.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You still need to
No,
learn
but
exposure
you still need-
compensation.
Yeah.
When in aperture mode.
That's true, cause if especially if you're in a fast-paced environment, light is constantly changing. I think one of those automatic modes become your friend, especially if you understand the camera. Like, I'm so used to shooting on a Canon. When I look at the scene and I see that meter move, I can predict that right now it's lying to me. I'm not gonna even move an inch. I'm not touching this shutter. You know that when you're looking at the bright stress, my meter's gonna lie to me. So you start understanding your camera, and the camera starts assisting you in some of the situations. So for me, I would say no. Manual mode is not king. You
Maybe we
need
can
to
say-
understand
So it's
your
a myth.
camera.
It's
Yeah.
a myth. It's a myth. Manual king is manual mode is not king. Manual mode is a servant. Not a king.
It's if you are in studio, you set your light once and everything is locked in. Now lights move. Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
even your camera on your tripod.
I even have a programmed mode on my camera where I just go see one. I know I'm in the studio. All my settings go in because I know my lighting and
So
everything.
just make sure you
But
understand all
yeah,
the modes
but
on
but
your
if you're in a fast-paced environment and the light is constantly changing, I think you need to consider some of the automatic modes.
Alright.
Well, I would say semi-automatic modes. Yeah.
I still shoot the whole wedding on manual, man.
True, but I feel bad for your
Yeah,
for your shutter.
It's one way of exercising, bro. I don't go to gym anymore.
Okay. YouTube will teach you everything.
No,
Not true.
no, not true.
I tried
Not
it.
at all.
Wow, then everything I know.
No.
Teach you.
I learned
Some
most
things you
as
learn
well,
yourself.
but I think you also need to interact with people who've when I met Uniko,
Yes.
Nosbuda, Nolungile, I understood my exposure triangle, I understood my Lightroom, I understood my Photoshop, but interacting with them and getting the field experience and
The
getting
tips.
the
Yes.
tips, the tricks, goes a long way as well. I think sometimes in YouTube they teach you this is the way, the truth and the light, and you stop exploring other avenues
stuff,
that
yeah.
might make
Yeah.
better sense to you
Yes.
as a photographer. Nick might say, "This is what I do," and he says, this is what I do. And Ben says, this is what I do. And I say, hey, but hey, the one Smuda says makes more sense to me.
you know. Yeah.
You know, and that
Yeah, no, I'm
for
so
me,
sorry.
that's why I'm saying I don't think YouTube teaches you quite a lot.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things from there, but I think interacting with other people as well.
Yes, and there are some people who I think who learns well, who understand some things better when they are doing them.
True.
So I mean, going to YouTube and watching those guys telling you what to do and what not to do, it might be difficult for them, you know. So I think some people are best when they have to do that thing for them to learn. It becomes
Some people prefer reading, so
Yeah.
you can't really
Yeah.
read on YouTube.
Yeah, no, we all different, I suppose. When we didn't somehow, let's just give some shout outs. Another one of our regulars, Princess Mavilankulu. Thank you for joining us again. I think your T-shirt, I'll bring it next time when I come. DJ, he was supposed to Skype in, but unfortunately he's busy with a job now. We see you. You just joined us briefly. It's cool.
we have Kalmo
Charlie-
there as well.
What?
Kalmo.
Oh, nice name. That's a nice business name. Yeah, who else? Patrick, we've answered a few of your questions. We see you. Cassette. Okay, Tate Blow, welcome again. Thank you for the support.
The Canon 70 to 55 f2.8 is a very good option. I think it was answering Patrick's question.
Who else do we have? We have Cassette. Again, regular. You're not getting a T-shirt until I get my SD card back. Jason, he said he'll watch with us tomorrow, but he was in briefly. How's it? We did say hello to Ali, Mr. Ali Chweni. Z, we saw you, and I think, and yeah, guys, again, thank you for your support. We're still around. Just two more on my side. I don't know.
Me, I'm out.
I'm out as well.
No.
You're out.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Marv, you still have?
No, I'm out.
You guys. Okay.
Some other people.
Okay,
said as well.
quickly. Okay, let's just brush through this ones quickly. Negative clarity will soften skin on Lightroom.
It will.
No.
And texture and everything else with the picture. It will. No. Don't get it wrong. It will soften everything, including the texture and everything, and the background and the clothes and and everything. It will do. It will soften.
It will make it a 3.
So I used to do that to retouch skin anyways back in my Lightroom days. Yeah.
Guilty as charged. I moved from negative clarity to noise reduction to soften skin.
The first time you discover negative clarity, you're like, wow.
Yeah, but
It's
guys,
on.
it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. Yeah, so don't ever do that. There's texture now on Lightroom, and there's proper ways of doing it in Photoshop.
Yeah, and I think who can see not in Photoshop and Lightroom, right?
You have to get the light. You have to get the right Lightroom. Some don't have that.
8.4.1. If you're paying for it, you got it. So the texture on Lightroom they just added on the recent version, but there is more proper steps that you could take to get your skin right in Photoshop. That comes to photo retouching. That's why you should have been at Scooter's workshop this past Sunday.
That's why I always say little goes a long way.
Okay, please answer the Alright, switch on to that scene. Busa, can you hear us? Please switch on the speaker for us. Yeah, a little bit.
Hey!
Busa?
What's up, guys?
Yo,
what's happening?
Yeah. How's it?
This is an ambush.
Busa, are you there?
Huh?
Are you there?
It's too high.
This is ambush. You guys are ambushing
Alright, yeah.
I'm actually still busy with the newborn. They're still in the bed.
Alright, maybe
And I don't have
Busa,
my
go quickly.
earphones.
Maybe go quickly.
Yeah, I had to bring out my microphone so quickly.
Yeah. No, let's ask Busam
Yes, sir.
because he has to go.
Otherwise,
You
you wouldn't hear me at all.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, my cap. My camera has a depth of field. This is so cool.
I see. What phone? Oh, is that
You were at the
Samsung?
Sony event.
No, I'm using a web camera,
Are they talking
Logi
together
or
with each
whatever.
other? Yeah, but they look
Oh, nice. Oops.
Ben, please switch to
Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I look so cool.
But do you hear these guys when they talk? Because I don't hear Ben. I see Nico and Ben.
Yeah, I also couldn't hear them. It's like the volume dropped down. I think it's because we're on a call.
In our Skype call soon. So,
But Nico said I can call.
So any moment that we can discuss.
So I think he's trying to.
Waiting for the
I think he's trying to sort it out now because I can see his face.
We have some. Okay, there's a Princess Mavilanko Lumlo Jua saying thank you, medium size, please. I really don't understand that.
I
slow
20.
sometimes if you have used it quite a lot, your catalog, if you have saved a whole lot of pictures on it, so clear your catalog, it might be faster.
Yeah, also Lightroom is quite a memory intensive application, so it also helps to have quite a bit more memory on your system. And as well, remember, if you have an older laptop, the newer the software, the more it uses the resources. So they build it for the newer systems as well. But I've heard that if you do have a graphics card with a GPU, apparently the new one that's gonna come out is gonna utilize GPU, which is gonna assist us as people who use Lightroom to make it go a bit faster.
Yeah.
But obviously, the more the software goes newer, they kind of expect you to have better hardware, and hence that's why you will see a decline in performance. I actually saw it with Photoshop.
Oh yeah,
My Photoshop.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what's happening? Yeah.
What laptop are you using? And which year is it? Which model?
I think also it's just the specs of the laptop, how much memory it has, and that.
Can just say hi to Amy there?
Hi, Amy.
Hi, good people. Oh, it's Amy only. Amy.
Oh wow, okay. I can hear you guys, but I can't see anybody.
Yep. I think
that's
the issue we're having.
Well, it's okay as long as I look pretty, so it's cool.
Again, we can see you on this side, but unfortunately we can't. That's Busa.
On your phone, Nico.
Yeah, it's calling on the wrong one.
Amy. Are you there? So Amy can hear us.
I think Amy can, but his volume is a bit low right now.
Maybe get.
Oh, Amy, I think it's best for you to just
Yeah, that's what I'm See. Yeah, I hope it doesn't echo. I'm gonna have to what they call. But as long as I can hear you, I'm just gonna hear you.
Cannot see Amy
Just gonna.
on our screen.
No, we can see Amy.
Not on the live screen. Not on the live screen. Only here.
Okay. But you guys can hear me. But you guys can hear me and you can see me, right?
Hey, Amy, we can see you now on the live stream.
Hey, yo. I don't have my makeup on though.
Amy, yeah, no, it's also ringing over there. So that's DJ Busang.
Okay, cool. So basically, let's see.
Oh, Amy.
Oh, yo.
Hey, they're saying you've got a new studio. You just opened up a new studio, man. Tell us about it.
Huh?
Your new studio.
Tell us more about your new studio. They say you have a new studio.
You're telling us we should ask you about your new studio.
Oh wow! On live. You guys are ambushing me. Jeez. Okay. Well, the studio is in Santin. It's on Rivonia in Santin. So, wait, I'm getting a request to join.
We cannot hear you.
I'm trying to join the Skype call on Facebook.
Something's not working right here.
But it was working.
No, we can. The thing is, OBS got 2 Skypes installed, and the OBS is just messing them up.
Amy, this guy, they are showing off your data now.
He's on unlimited data.
Okay, carry on. Moving along with Udokuzan, Patrick. Should I upgrade my 4 gig RAM to 8 gig RAM?
You're only on 4 gig.
Yeah,
Moms just said 16 if you can.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Please, 16.
Yeah.
16 is more recommended, and also an SSD in your laptop.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference, especially when you're using applications.
So, Amy is not on call anymore.
Yeah, no, let's just go back to switching.
So just switch back to live. Yeah, 16 gig if you can. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, I'm saying to please, Charlie, at least 16 gig. At least
Solid state drive. So what you're gonna do actually, you're gonna remove your normal hard drive, and you're gonna change it to a solid state drive. So the solid state drive is able to transfer data quicker than a normal hard drive. So that gives you much better performance.
It's
So-
if you can find those
If you can find it on the other
new
side.
hard drives, it's a digital hard drive actually.
And it saves your battery.
Yeah, it doesn't have that so it's a digital one, so it's a bit quiet.
For me, the plus side on the SSD in Japan is just the 500 times speed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Speed
Busang,
on it,
are
yeah.
you on? All right, Busang, are you on?
DJ.
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah,
Lower. All right, just switch on to the panel there.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right. We can hear you, but we can't see you. Just speak. Let's check if
You can see who, me?
Okay, yeah, your audio is coming in. All right, quickly, we just wanted to ask you about you went to the Sony AR4 launch event. We just want you to give us a breakdown what you think of the AR 7.4.
The event was good. There are plenty of A7R4s that they've put on display there for us to play with. And the actual feel of the camera is like brilliant. You know, they've got better grip. Those round buttons, you can now actually lock them down. And with the megapixels are like the pixels are crystal clear. And there's quite a lot. And now you can. They've also added we can hear you because I can't see what we're hearing.
Yeah, no, we hear, we can see you just fine, but we're just having a problem with sending video back.
So you can't see me?
We can see you, but we can't send video to you, so you can see us. You can't see us.
Yeah. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, so the event was good. There were a lot of Sony ambassadors there showing us and sharing with us their experience with regards to using the new A7R4. And it's very tempting. I mean, I'm not sure if you saw, but I actually went live on that
Yeah. Actually,
On
I
that
saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
I was very excited, you know. So yeah, overall it was a beautiful event, and I'm actually.
Oh. Did we kill somebody? Did we just kill someone? Yeah, I love life, love. See if you can call back DJ Busang. Yeah. Okay, sorry, are you there? Yeah, we just lost you for a second. Yeah, so...
Yeah, it's on hold.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay.
No. And this. You see, I'm still working.
Oh, that's nice. Wow.
All right. And so the big question is, when is yours coming?
Wondering what's that sound from? It's from this.
Yeah, no, let's see that. That's cool.
Right here.
White noise. We there? You frozen? You are frozen. Reconnected. Okay, so yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry, where were we? SSDs.
Yes.
Okay. While we wait for Busang to reconnect, we were talking SSDs. You want to get an SSD. I mean, I was complaining to everyone that we can't be working on machine. I cannot.
It's very difficult.
I cannot switch on a computer that does not have an SSD in this day and age. I mean, I had my SSD now. I think.
So let me get back to it. Maybe we'll get back to it. And maybe when I join you guys.
But thanks for trying anyway.
And I've got a baby waiting.
Okay, now thanks for calling in anyway.
Cool, man.
Sure, that's DJ Busang.
Cool,
Find
man.
him at Busang Photography on Facebook, social media, everywhere, and his work is just beautiful. Yeah. Okay, yeah, SSDs, I cannot work on any machine. First of all, I cannot wait 2 minutes for your computer to boot up. With putting on SSD, my computer boot time is like 5 seconds, up to when I type my password. And from there, after press enter on my password, I can launch Photoshop 3 seconds later. That's how the speed that you get from SSD. So guys, get on SSDs, they're cheaper nowadays. Less than 1,000 rands, you can get yourself a 250 meg. That's 50
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Amy.
Amy.
Okay, let's see if we can find him there. Amy, can you hear us?
Yeah, I think I can.
Alright, just Ben just changed that to just continue with Amy there.
Okay, yeah. He was telling us about his studio anyways. We lost you there, Amy.
Yeah.
Studio, yeah. You can start from the beginning for us, man.
Oh, okay, cool. So like the studio is in Santin. Ouch. The studio is in Santin. It's in Rivonia. So so it's not completely mine, but that's the hay. So it's like a space that they sell arts and very artistic stuff.
Yeah.
So
what?
We are still here. We're still here.
You look shocked.
You guys are live streaming me completely alone on the group. Oh wow. Okay. You can see some stuff there. You were. Okay, cool. Alright, so the studio is in Santins in Rivonia. It's not completely mine. So it's so what they did is it's a big space where they sell artistic stuff. So they sell like handcrafted bags and shoes and something like that. So but what happens is they sell it online. So now they have this big space that nothing is going on there. So they did try using it as a studio. So they actually bought like some lights. They bought some kilo lights that I got there. I'm like, okay.
But
They have like this. They have like this big white backdrop there, so they literally have everything that I hate there. Yeah. So they have like the white backdrop, the yellow strobes. That thing didn't even work in Slave. I was trying to use it in my life and stuff like that. So I had a quick meeting with them and we had a bit of an arrangement. So now I'm in charge of the studio session of it. So I think what it's gonna take, why I haven't really finalized on it is I'm gonna have to change a lot of things. It's like the white backdrop has to go away first, definitely. So that one is gonna turn to gray. So I just wanna give it a little bit of a basic standard feeling before I kind of make it a little bit official.
All right.
But so far so good. I've shot there already. I just had to take some of my stuff from here with me to there.
All right. Yeah.
So,
Let's talk photo gear. Olympics are coming up next year. A lot of camera manufacturers are releasing stuff.
Okay.
Should we expect anything from Fuji anytime soon to go to the Olympics that you know of that you are testing undercover?
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. I wouldn't say I have 100% confirmation on some of the stuff in regards to the Fuji gear so far, except for the things that have just been launched that are not here yet. So so they launched the new Fujifilm X-A7, which is they're gonna start having stock in South Africa by the end of October. So that I'm looking forward to because I'm actually gonna get that camera for my video. So apparently, video-wise, that camera is really great, and it's so small and compact, and the sort of face tracking is better. And based on all the reviews I've watched on YouTube, it looks really amazing. So I'm really Sorry?
Is it something that for enthusiasts or is it directed at professionals?
I think it's in between both because basically it's designed for vloggers in a way. But if you still want to use it for other things, you can. It still allows you to do that. But now, look at our industry in general. Let's say I take that camera and I go do a photo shoot and I post the photo. Nobody's going to know if that was the camera I used or the X-T3. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So the camera just has its specifications. So like the design they gave it is designed in a way of for vloggers in a way because it has the selfie camera or something like that where you can see yourself, and the face tracking is also the face tracking as the new firmware of the X-T3. So like it's even a little bit faster than the X-T3. But and the XH2 probably, based on the Fuji news globally, it should be coming out next year. Probably, I have no idea, but I know it's gonna probably come out next year. And I think then some other new lenses news here and there, but everything is just still in news. There's no confirmation yet on that.
All right, okay.
And the other thing that I came across is the third-party lenses, like I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's Chinese. They make Fuji lenses. So, but I like the idea they're going for. So basically, what they're doing is they're creating the old lenses, but in a modern design without the autofocus. So if you're ever gonna use it, it is manual focus, but it's very wide on aperture. Like they have like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 for aperture. So like I think for video guys, they will enjoy that a lot. And for I feel like I'm lazy to use manual focus now, so I'm never gonna go there.
Oh, you're too old to use manual focus.
Yeah. But how do I put it? Well, you get okay. I started by using manual focus. If I have to use manual focus, I will use it. But now we are in a situation where, like, let's say you're shooting an event and then there's something happening, and by the time you're still trying to focus, the thing is gone. So I guess there's time to use autofocus and there's time for manual focus. So there's time for, I think it's basically just like if you get a lens, there's time for you to use it. So it's not that you're not gonna use it, if you get what I mean.
No, so it's interesting. No, thank you for coming in. We just needed you for a second or two just to say hi, but we still need to sit down for a full proper episode. We have more questions to ask about the way you work, your work and things like that. And would really appreciate your presence in this group. But anyhow, guys, any other questions you want to ask Amy before we jump off?
Yeah, will it be possible for us to come podcast there by your studio?
Yeah, it is possible because the guys were there when I was doing my project, when I was doing my DUSA project, and we turned the whole sitting room into a broadcasting studio. So it is possible. I guess we just need to make a plan ahead because there's also something new I'm planning again on my side, but I'm not gonna talk about it yet. But there's something I'm sure Mav knows what I'm talking about. But there's something new that I'm going into, so there's definitely a good chance. I think just chat to me about it. It's definitely not a problem. Yeah, we just have to hide all the funny stuff.
Sure, brother.
Don't scare people away.
Yeah. No. Thanks for joining us. I think we'll let you go. If guys, you want to look at Amy's work, where can people find you?
Okay. Okay. On Instagram is _Amy.photography. I think that's where I would direct people to the Instagram. Yeah. So I think just go to Instagram. From Instagram, you can go to you will see the details to every other places like the website, Facebook,
Yeah,
and so
we haven't
on.
been seeing much tutorials from you lately, or is it maybe my Facebook feed? You used to do a lot of live stuff.
It's just a busy week for me so far, and it actually comes to the guy in the Barcelona that I don't like was saying earlier. Talking about hiring someone.
Tawang is the name, mate.
So which is very true because I'm not gonna lie, I have like a lot of content, but I don't have the time to post basically. So like since Monday I've been shooting every day. Like I literally just you can see I'm like still in all black. I just got him from an event right now. So yeah, so I guess I just need to find time to post and so on.
Alright. No, okay, no, thanks, Amy. Looking forward to seeing more of your stuff, and thanks for joining us. Yeah, we just need to end the episode. We've been running for quite a bit longer now, but thanks for you coming in anyway. We'll talk. Cheers.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, alright.
Cheers, Amy.
Guys.
All right, guys. I think we need to cut it short. We've been going for forever. I'm hungry. I wanna go eat. I miss my kids. All right. Let's start with picks of the week. Let's start on my left-hand side. This side.
What's that?
You did prepare the last time, so you're starting first this time.
Sure, so I'm starting first. Okay, my pick of the week is a Huion. Yes, that's how you pronounce it. Huion H610 Pro V2. That's a graphic tablet.
He's making money.
That's the graphic tablet that I'm working on right now. I'm learning how to use a graphic tablet, and it's not as expensive as a Wacom. So you guys can try it out, and it's very big, 10 by 6 inches drawing area. It's 15 millimeter reading height and 10 millimeter sensing height, with 8 customizable keys, but 16 soft keys. So yeah, for a Wacom you'll pretty much pay a fortune for that, but for Huion you're looking at less than 3,000. If you're lucky, you can even get it for 2,000.
Well, Tabang just took my pick of the week.
Thanks for letting me go first.
No, okay, because I mean you can see it there. Yeah, and yeah, my pick was also a tablet. Doesn't matter which one you get. As a photographer, if you're gonna be dwelling into Photoshop, we're talking about getting into Photoshop last time.
Yeah.
You need some sort of a graphics tablet, whether it be a Huion or a Wacom. I mean, Ben, just pass me that one. You know, I think on our Wacom side,
Isn't it that one from Wacom also?
this is the cheapest one, but you know, I still do work on this, and
it's very nice and smooth.
Very nice and smooth, and it just teaches you quite a lot. I mean, get a tablet, start playing around with it. Get a cheaper one if you're not sure you're not gonna like it. And the one tip that I would give you is it's gonna, well, I'll tell you, it will frustrate you for the first month, but just
But not even a first month, maybe first week.
yeah.
Just throw the.
So it'll frustrate you, but just keep on going with it, because once you learn how to use it, you'll never use a mouse on Photoshop ever again. Marv?
For me, it's the, I don't know how you say this name. Behringer X-Touch Mini.
I know, you're revealing our secrets. There's only 4 in stock, and then and the next thing by the time we order.
That's my touch of the week.
Okay, please tell us what that is, what it does.
Basically, it's an alternative to that, the controller for Lightroom. So it's basically a little deck where you're able to control Lightroom from that deck without you having to touch your mouse or touch your keyboard. So you can literally have dials and buttons, which I can literally, if I'm working on an image, if I want to touch my contrast, I can program this button to contrast, this one to clarity, this one to what. So it just adds more feel to the work. Nico got me hooked, and now I'm having sleepless nights.
Did you order yours yet?
It's coming.
Yeah, because I'm ordering mine next week. I'm expecting a job to pay. I'm ordering mine.
It's
from
coming.
Next week,
I think within a week or so I should have one.
Yeah, no,
so
definitely. That's one way. That's gonna replace somehow my keyboard on Lightroom.
on Lightroom.
So on Lightroom, I will have the Behringer X-Touch Mini MIDI controller, and on Photoshop, I've got my tablet, and I'm good.
So you have your mini controller and a tablet.
No, like look at the mixer that Marv is using.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine the first knob is for exposure, and then you jump onto the next one. It's for contrast.
maybe it's
And then
So now you guys are literally.
yeah, we just gonna be DJing.
DJing.
DJing a photo. We'll DJ a photo.
So if I need exposure, I don't even adjust exposure, a bit of contrast, a bit of.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah. All right, Squida, I think you're closing it off.
Oh well, my pick of the week, it would be just familiarize yourself with Photoshop. Good people, please. If you're a photographer and you're aiming at building a portfolio to look as great as your the magazine photos that you normally see online, some of the greatest photographers on Facebook, just familiarize yourself with Photoshop. Start slowly from the basics, don't rush, and yeah.
Are we getting audio there? I don't see any audio meter moving.
I didn't see that.
Just scroll down. Oh, okay, it's there. All right, okay. All right. Hey, there I was thinking we were giving tips, but okay. Yeah, guys, I think great tips all around. Definitely, never mind the name, but get yourself a tablet.
What is the name again?
Huion. Yes, that's
whatever.
That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, no, okay. Tablets, suppose from the two of us, and learn just look at Photoshop, print a wallpaper, put it on your wall. When you go to bed, look at it, and again. Mav took away my secret, but it's fine. But hopefully by the next episode we'll both have our X-Touch needies. I will shoot a video to show you how it works, and we'll try to fix this laptop issue. Guys, thank you for joining us. It was beautiful having you again. Thank you for everybody that participated, and sorry to everybody whom we didn't get to their questions. We'll try save them for the next show. Guys, if you have questions for the next show or ideas, please send them through on a Facebook page or inbox us, or you can send us an email at info@photoitsbits.co.za. I think that's it. We're out.
Send models our way for the competition. That is.
See what?
The outro.
We're not there yet. Click outro. Let's get out.
Models for the competition.
Oh, yes, yes.
So all you photographers, send models to Photography and its Bits page, where they'll be able to enter a competition, and one of them, or maybe a few of them, can win a photo shoot, a studio photo shoot with Mav.
Hey,
you keep on pushing
with
this
Marv and people.
Right,
Hey,
we out.
I don't have a camera. Can we sing? I'm switching off everybody.
Hey.